There's not many bigger clubs than Rangers as far as I'm concerned.
How high would you place an Old Firm game in the atmosphere?
You have to witness it. Fortunately, me, touch wood, I played in 11 and was unbeaten in them. So it was good, a couple of goals, but the atmosphere is
that the best you've ever experienced? Or
no, Lazio Roma is something else as well. I mean,
it?
you're looking at what, they're 50,000, their atmosphere, Lazio Roma was 100,000. But for atmosphere and singing and trying to outdo each other and the hatred, I'd say Celtic just takes some beating. Yeah, Celtic takes some beating.
Is that right, you had several threats against you in Glasgow?
A couple of times,
I
yeah.
read in the press.
Yeah, a couple of times, just, you know.
Have you experienced that before?
I've had it before, yeah. I was getting letters and death threats and they can be a bit worrying, but like I said, not the worst one, but I remember just going to the training ground, got my car and I was just walking along and a guy just stopped his car, put his head out the window and just said, "Watch yourself, Gascoigne, I'm going to slit your throat." I didn't actually train too well that day, to be fair.
You scored a terrific goal against Scotland in the European Championships. You know, what kind of reception did you get when you returned to Ibrox? Because there was a couple of Rangers players playing that day.
50-50.
Right.
The lads got a lot of banter beforehand, but afterwards, when I got back, every photo that was sent through the post to sign, I actually put them above Andy Gorham's peg first. Right. Before signing and sending them off, so I do apologise to some of the people that didn't get the photos back because Andy Gorham ripped them to shreds.
Gazza, how would you briefly sum up your Boro career since you've arrived?
Thoroughly enjoyed it, but paid off for the press. First couple of games, you know, I just joined the club. It was new. It wasn't as if I had a pre-season break or whatever. It was just from one club to another, getting other guys, playing a game. Following a few days playing another one, I was just actually trying to find my feet before I even started. The press were on my back.
Yeah, you must be used to that.
Yeah, I'm used to that, but it's just the fact I said to them, look, you know, be fair with me and I'll be fair with them, and not they wanted to slaughter straight away. But now that I've settled, played a few more games, getting other players how they play, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it at the moment.
Looking back at the cup final against Chelsea, you know, I personally thought you should have started the game.
I didn't want to start the game. I don't think it was right for me to start the game.
Were you fit enough to start the game?
I was about 70% fit.
But surely a 70% fit's better than most players.
Well, I didn't get the guys there. Even if I was 120% fit, I still wouldn't want to play in the game.
Right.
The lads done their own merit to get there. I don't think it was right me just turning up at the club and then playing, you know. Even sub, I felt a little bit embarrassed being sub, but that's football. And you know, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. My first game at Wembley, cool as it wasn't bad.
Is that right? On the Saturday night before the final, you had a word with your roommate Paul Merson and says, "I'm going to give Craig Hignett my medal." No, I think so. I wasn't too sure. Was it that day or the morning? And I don't know if I think I said the miss, but I just had all intentions, whether it was the winner or loser's medal, I was going to give it to Higgy, you know. Yeah, you obviously knew of Higgy beforehand.
Oh, I knew, yeah. I've watched him on Sky and done a few interviews. I've seen him do interviews and that, and seen a couple of goals. He's important goals that he actually did.
That's right, he scored 3 goals getting them there.
Them there, but you know, it was just something. I think he deserved it more than me.
How hard the decision was it joining Boro? You know, the old enemy, you know, Newcastle, Boro.
That's right.
It's like joining Celtic after playing for Rangers.
That's right, well, it's, you know, I've been home, Newcastle, and the fans have been great. You just wished us all the best.
I bet they wish they had you now.
The Newcastle, well, obviously they're having a bit of a tough time, but I think they're good enough to stay up. And you know, just being unfortunate this year, and hopefully, touch wood, come Sunday we can join them up there.
Let's hope so. How big an influence was Bryan Robson in you making your decision?
I think it was Bryan Robson, obviously, getting me at the club. I knew how big the supporters are, and how disappointed they were, and especially the 3 cup finals they've played in. But Robert said they have a great setup, a great training ground, good bunch of lads, and he said you'll come here, you get looked after, and you'll enjoy your football. And you know, to his word now, it's certainly kept up to his word. I'm enjoying it now. And
have you big plans for the training ground facilities?
Yeah, fantastic. I've seen the plans downstairs. They really look good. Really look good.
Yeah. Looking at your career, left Newcastle, went to Spurs, Lazio, everyone was tipping you to return to England, but you went to Scotland, you went to Rangers.
Rangers.
Why Scotland? Why Rangers?
I think if any footballer's actually experienced and played or went to Rangers, there's no reason. There's no other reason why. There's not many bigger clubs than Rangers, as far as I'm concerned. Unless you go towards the likes of Barcelona, AC Milan. You know, the club is up with them. Is the team. Obviously, we were a bit disappointed in the Champions League. We know that ourselves. I think it was because every season, come start of pre-season, the chairman was willing to spend a lot of money, which is great to see. But we just didn't have enough time to gel together. So, you know, to get into the Champions League very quickly because it come quick on us. But a magnificent club, massive club. And
massive trophy cabinet as well.
Massive trophy cabinet, aye, and it was nice. I got a few winners' medals up there, so
yeah, I'm going to ask you that. Looking back at your time in Glasgow, you know, players have been quoted over the years as saying it's like living in a goldfish bowl. Did you find that? Or did you live in the outskirts, away from?
No, I just lived. I never really went to Glasgow that much. I was always down Helensville way, Cameron House, Lochloom, that way.
I know that.
Which was nice. But to be fair, the Celtic fans and the Rangers fans and the Celtic fans were really nice to us when I went out. They were good. I think they relate me as one of those, and nobody different, you know, a big-headed type person, and I just sort of gel with them. But the rivalries between them come match days is incredible.
I know that. Coming from Glasgow, I was going to say how do you know, knowing half the city love you and half hate you.
Yeah,
no, just Paul Gascoigne. If you play for either team, yeah.
It is an incredible thing. You know, people say it's only 4 games a season there. It's more than that, as far as I'm concerned, because you know everybody wants to beat Rangers up there so badly. It's incredible, and you got to look at your other players. If I played, for instance, say Dunfermline, and I was playing against Rangers, I'd want to do well because not only that, but you don't know, the Rangers manager might come in and want to buy me if I've done really well, you know. So everyone is really up for it when they play against Rangers, without a doubt.
Yeah, you're playing a lot of big games, you know, in your career. How high would you place an Old Firm game in the atmosphere?
Yeah, you have to witness it. Fortunately, me, touch wood, I played in 11 and was unbeaten in them. And started in 11, apart from come on sub and we got beat, but I come on sub that one. But in 11 I actually played. I was unbeaten in them.
Fair record that.
I think it was 7 wins, 4 draws. So it was good, a couple of goals, but the atmosphere is
that the best you've ever experienced, or?
No, Latin Rome has something else as well.
Is it?
You're looking at what, they're 50,000, their atmosphere. Latin Rome was 100,000. But for atmosphere and singing and trying to outdo each other and the hatred, I'd say Celtic
plays a big part in it.
Yeah, Celtic's been beaten.
I hate to ask the question, but how many league and cup medals did you actually win in Scotland?
I won 2 league. I won the Scottish Cup and the Coca-Cola Cup. Hopefully, I've got a double to come again.
Oh, that's right, you've still got a bit that. I don't think you'll get the league.
I've told you the league, well, hopefully, yeah, I definitely want my medal for that. And I've told the gaffer, you know, the Scottish Cup as well. I wouldn't mind a little medal for that.
I think you might get that. I don't know about the league. Is that right? You had several threats against you in Glasgow?
A couple of times,
yeah.
I
read in the press.
Yeah, a couple of times, just, you know.
Have you experienced that before?
I've had it before. Yeah, I was getting letters and death threats, and they can be a bit worrying. But like I said, not the worst one. But I remember just going to the chain ground, got in my car, and I was just walking along, and a guy just stopped his car, put his head out the window, and just said, "Watch yourself, Gascoigne. I'm going to slit your throat." I didn't actually train too well that day, to be fair. Yeah, you know, I get plenty of that.
But you hardened to that.
Worrying, yeah, just a bit.
Your Rangers career seemed to come to an abrupt end. Was that a surprise? You know, after all, they are going into the final, they're chasing the 10th consecutive championship.
Well, I've left.
I was delighted you left, by the way.
Yeah, I bet Well, I went from I've left an ambitious club to come to an ambitious club. Both chairmen are willing to spend money, plans for the future, and the both of them got good sets of lads. Rangers were like a family to me. Obviously, I was hurt the way I did leave. But now it's up to me to, you know, to put all that behind us. I'm still in touch with the guys. You know, I've got my new club, new bunch of lads, and they've took them as well, to be fair, and they've helped us settle in really good. Did
you get time to wave to the fans to indicate you were
I
leaving?
didn't know. I didn't actually.
Did you go to Ian Durrant's testimonial?
No, I couldn't do it because I think it would be too tiring and it would be unfair on the players and the club. Yeah, but I will have. You know, I'll find time to go up there and obviously try and play in one game. wherever, testimonial or whatever, you know.
Right. You've been capped 54 times by England?
54 times.
Are you happy with that total, or do you think, or no, you should have had more?
I actually missed out on about 4 years of international soccer through injury. I worked out maybe, you're talking about 20 games, 30 games in that time, so I reckon I could have got 85. I would have hopefully been on about 85 caps, especially with the World Cup coming up in friendlies. Shame, because I think I could have, you know, kept myself right in good condition, reached 100 caps, but it's always nice to play for your country. I passed the 50 mark, which is nice, and my aim is just try and stay fit and do the business for Middlesbrough and England.
Let's hope you do. What would you say your greatest game for England's been? Obviously you've played. One
of my greatest games was or pressurised game was the one at home Czechoslovakia before the 1990 World Cup, when I had to try and perform. I set up 3 and scored one, so it was nice, 4-2, which set me up for there. And I think during the World Cup I enjoyed most of my games, but the Germany game I enjoyed that. I remember the guy putting us up against Matthias, who was obviously
class player.
Yeah, and you know, I stood up to it. I stood up to the challenge, and I enjoyed that game.
Do you always feel a bit of pressure when you're playing for England? You know, the press are red hot. They always look at Gascoigne and see what's going to.
I don't actually find pressure playing for England. I enjoy playing it, especially at home.
But you know, there's a lot of rubbish going to be written about you.
Well, what really pisses me off a bit is the fact that when I was 22, 23, starting playing for England, that they put pressure on us there to do the business for England. You know, I was the one that had to create things, score goals, have a blind every game. And now I'm 30 and young kids are coming through, and now it's still up to me to do this and do it and still getting hammered. So, you know, as Chris Waddle said, John Barnes, you know, guys, I just enjoy the games when you come, because don't worry, your turn's going to come shortly where they're going to say retire, get them out and all that, which they are, you know.
Yeah, but haven't seen everyone done it.
Aye. But all these journalists have all been top international players.
Oh, I know that. Some great players set that stand, don't they? They're great.
My ambition is actually to play a charity match against them. Actually say how good they are.
I'd like to do that as well.
I'd love that.
You scored a terrific goal against Scotland in the European Championships. You know, what kind of reception did you get when you returned to Ibrox? Because there was a couple of Rangers players playing that day.
50-50.
Right.
The lads got a lot of banter beforehand, but afterwards, when I got back, every photo that was sent through the post to sign, I actually put them above Andy Gorham's peg first, before signing them and sending them off. So I do apologise to some of the people that didn't get the photos back, because Andy Gorham ripped them to shreds.
People seem to think, you know, when you've got a few quid and you're famous, you change. People think you should change. I personally don't think that's right. You should, you know, don't forget your roots or your friends. And you seem to have did that.
I've stuck to my roots.
I think that's probably a big plus for you.
Yeah. Stuck to my roots, and the only thing I feel is, you know, people say, I hope you won't change when you become famous or you make money, and I've never did that. It's just a shame that, like I said, go back to the press where they want me to change, they want me to be this and that. And I'm one of the guys who like to go down the pub with the lads, have a good drink, have a good time with them, and shoot off home.
But I think that's to your advantage. You know, these guys think, oh, you got a few quid, you should start talking polite and stop the carry on. I think that's a lot of rubbish. I actually made me money and become who I am, of doing, just being myself. Yeah.
I just think if I changed and being someone else, then obviously that wouldn't be the Paul Gascoigne who I am. I am what I am. You get what you get and see what you see, and that's where I'll always be.
Most people in the public eye have been stitched up from time to time by the media, but you seem to have been stitched up more than most. You know, is that annoyed or frustrated you? Obviously throughout the interview you've stressed that.
Lucky enough, to be fair, I have had me time where they've really given us a lot of hassle, a lot of stick, and I, you know, you try and cope with it to the best of your ability, but I've been lucky because the general public have been absolutely fantastic. It doesn't matter whatever the press write, the public have been great.
They're the ones that matter.
They're great. The only thing that hurts me is when they start pestering me kids. I hate that.
Yeah, delving into your background.
Yeah. Showing the kids have got nothing to do with that. You know, I think they should keep the kids out of it, which is a shame, and they don't, and they hound them at the house and that.
Yeah, but the papers over the years, they just write rubbish, don't they? The only thing you believe in the papers is a date. Would you agree with that?
Well, yeah, I mean, like I've always said, the difference between the Beano and a newspaper is 3 pence.
Looking to the World Cup, have England got a realistic chance?
Well, personally, we have got a good chance. I think we have. We've got the players, we've got the youth, we've got the experience. You know, everyone's gelling together. This thing about giving Glenn Hoddle stick about mixing players and experimenting, it's no use. You'd rather experiment now than actually experiment in the World Cup. So, like I said, Graham Taylor, Bobby Robson, Terry Venables, whoever becomes manager, they all know that the press are going to slag them, slaughter them. And it's a shame to our own press, our English people, you know, want England to win the World Cup, and the only people that doubt us is our own journalists. They hate it when England win. As far as I'm concerned, they absolutely hate it. They can't stand it. Like, Portugal are a very, 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 very good team, and England actually, they won the game. They played 3 great goals, done well, and we still got stick after the game. So, hopefully for the public of England that we do win the World Cup. Brazil are going to take some beating, but hopefully we do, and for the press, hopefully we get beat for them.
Last question, how much faith have you got in that Ireland jury? You think it's a good idea?
I enjoy it well. When you're the England manager, he's doing what's best for the squad. He's given everybody the opportunity to make sure that their mind's focused, and so
it's up to you as an individual if you want to deal with it.
Everyone's there. If you want to go and see, you can. If you don't, you don't have to. Glenn's not putting anybody under pressure. And like I said, she's there to see, and if anyone wants their mind at ease before all Glenn wants is just wants everybody focused on this World Cup, and whatever it takes to get anybody focused and rightly minded for the World Cup, then right. So she's not forcing anyone to see her. She's there if you lads want to go and see her, and a lot of lads have seen her.
Well, Gazza, thanks very much for talking to us. I hope you've got a great Boro career ahead of you, injury free, and look forward to the Premiership.
Cheers.
Thanks very much.
Cheers, thanks very much.
Cheers.
Top man.